welcome to Viti Pathshala. Today we are going to start with the economics part of the Tamil Nadu SCRT. In the earlier class, I have done with you the sixth class completely. I have covered. Now we would be starting with the seventh class, and this the unit it is about the economics. So the economics part we would be doing here. So when you will see in the economics, the unit 1, it talks about the production. So this is the seventh class, the first term book, and in this last chapter in the social sciences, your production. Now after studying this chapter, you would be able to learn the things about the to know the what is the meaning of the production, to understand the types of the productions, to know the type of the factors of the production, and you would be able to understand the characteristics of the production factors of the production. Now similarly, like a conversation they used to do, the same way they are doing a conversation between the two children, and an uncle is there. So uncle, they make sugar. Now dear children, do you know what are the products or the produced from the sugar cane? So ये लोग जो है आंसर करते हैं डेट कि वो जो है शुगर बनाते हैं. Now again the story comes. Now one day Yajini and the Josephine were sitting in the park. एक दिन याजनी और जोसेफिन वो पार्क में बैठे थे near the house, and they were eating the sugar cane. At that time, Yazini's uncle Raja from the town came there. Now, on seeing them eating the sugar, he asked, "Dear children, do you know what are the products produced from the sugar cane?" तो उन्होंने पूछा कि क्या आपको बच्चों पता है कि सुगर केन से क्या बनाया जाता है. So both of them thought for a while and said, "Uncle, they make the sugar." वो लोग जो है शुगर बनाते हैं. Now, uncle, you are right. Do you know how they produce the sugar from for our consumption? Yazini, no, uncle. But if you tell us, we will know about it, uncle. Uncle, okay, I shall tell you, and you in turn must tell your friends about it. Yazini and the Jofin, okay, uncle, thank you. Now he begins saying that the sugar cane is produced in the agriculture field. Now दिस इज प्राइमरी प्रोडक्शन. शुगर केन जो है वो कहाँ पर आपके खेतों में उगता है और वो प्राइमरी प्रोडक्शन है. नाउ टू गेट द शुगर वी टेक द शुगर केन टू द शुगर फैक्ट्रीज. यूजिंग द मशीन वी प्रोड्यूस द शुगर. तो मशीन को यूज करके हम शुगर को प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. वी प्रोड्यूस द शुगर. नाउ दिस इज द सेकेंडरी प्रोडक्शन. सो आपकी जो गन्ने उग रहे हैं वो आपका एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड में, डेट इज द प्राइमरी एक्टिविटी. देन नेक्स्ट प्रोडक्शन, सेकेंडरी प्रोडक्शन इन द फैक्ट्रीज जहां पर आपकी शुगर बन रही है. सो द शुगर इंडस्ट्रीज दे आर नोन एज द सेकेंडरी सेक्टर, हम उसको बोलते हैं. एंड जनरली इट इज डिस्क्राइब्ड एज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्रीज. Now, and the industries in the tertiary sector, they produce all those services which enable the finished goods to be put in the hands of the consumer. Now, these industries include the trading, banking, insurance, etc. Now, what is production? Production is a process of the changing the raw material into the finished product. So, क्या definition है production की? Production एक process है जिसमें रॉ मटेरियल को फिनिश प्रोडक्ट में चेंज कर दिया जाता है. नाउ हियर द फैक्टर्स ऑफ द प्रोडक्शन इज द इनपुट. सो हियर यू हैव द फैक्टर्स ऑफ द प्रोडक्शन एंड दैट इंक्लूड द इनपुट लाइक द शुगर केन, मशीनरी, लेबर्स, etc. And the sugar is the output. Now let us learn about the production and the various factors which are included in the production. like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, and its characteristics in the detail. Yazini and the Joffin, they says that okay uncle. Now let's start the chapter. So there are the two main activities in an economy. So there are two main activities in an economy. Now production and the consumption. So wait for 1 minute. I'm unable to make the conference call. Okay? Hello, who's वही तो गड़बड़ है आप लोग ही कर रहे हो तो हेलो या राजा डू होल्ड फॉर आई एम कनेक्टिंग अदर्स आल्सो ना ओके ओके so let's start the class now there are the two main activities in an economy now production and the consumption so what are the two important activities these are the production and the consumption now similarly there are the two kinds of the people these are the producers and the consumers so दो तरह की एक्टिविटीज होती हैं देर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ द एक्टिविटीज दीज आर द प्रोडक्शन एंड द कंजम्पशन सिमिलरली देर आर द टू काइंड्स ऑफ द पीपल ऑल्सो one who produces and one is consumer one who consumes now well-being is made possible by efficient production and by the interaction between the producer and the consumer the thing is that when a person is producing it should be consumed then only it is beneficial now in the interaction the consumer can be identified in two roles both with the which generate well-being now consumers can be both customers of the producers and the suppliers of the producers suppliers to the producers so next the customers well-being it arises from the commodities they are buying and the suppliers well-being is related to the income they receive now the customer its customer is happy when the commodity they are buying so they are happy with the and supplier with the income they are getting from the selling the things now they receive as the compensation for the production inputs they have delivered to the producers now next comes is the what is the meaning of the production now production it is a process of the combining the various material inputs and immaterial inputs in order to make something for the consumption so what is that so here it says that production is first thing is that it is a process now what type of the process of the combining various material inputs along with the immaterial inputs in order to make something जो कि कंज्यूम किया जाए, मतलब which can be consumed or intaken, the output which is ultimately a output. There is an input, with that input we are doing the output. Yeah. Immaterial means that the one is material you are using for the production, and other immaterials are, for example, the water you are using, the soil you are using, the land you have on that. So these are the immaterial inputs. So electricity and the other things, you have the immaterial inputs in order to make something. Or you have a labor also, that is immaterial, it is not a material labor. Now it is the act of creating an output. You are creating here an output, a good or a service which have value and contributes to the utility of the individual. Ultimately, what does utility means? Means you are happy while consuming that product. Your utility, your happiness, that matters. Now production in the economies, it refers to the creation of those goods and services which have the exchange value. So what you should produce? You should produce which have a market value or which have an exchange value. It means the creation of the utilities. Utility means the satisfying power of a product. For example, you are consuming the apple or you are consuming the mango. If that is satisfying you, that it provides you the utility. Now utility are in the nature of the form. Utility, form utility, time utility and place utility. So utility we can classify in the three types. It can be form utility, time utility and place utility. Now they have explained these utilities in the next page. Now you can see that the type of utility first comes is the form utility. Now what is this form utility? It is if the physical form of a commodity is changed, its utility may increase. For example, cotton increases if it is converted into the cloth. So initially you had a cotton, so the price, market price of cotton you fetch is less. When you convert it into the cloth and you sell the cloth, then its value it increases. So form means the changing the form of the product. Next is the place utility. Now if a commodity is the transported from one place to another, its utility increases. So for example, you have produced a product in India and you are exporting it to another country, or the rice transported to the Tamil Nadu to Kerala, its utility will be more. Now the similar way, we have studied the GI tags. Now these GI tags have the importance all over the world. So they have the place utility. Now time utility, if the commodity is stored for the future uses. So here comes your the cold storage, and remember that the India lacks the cold storage. So India के पास cold storage is the major problem. So in the Prime Minister's speech, it was also mentioned that we have the bumper crop. So he said from the Red Fort also that we are producing so much. We have, there were the sometime we used to import the wheat also. So now the our sorry we used to import, yeah, import the wheat, and now India is self-sufficient in the agriculture. Same way we have to require the cold storage to preserve the things. Now the Prime Minister was urging to enlarge this scope in the other fields also. Now time utility, how much time you can do, you can preserve that. If the commodity is stored for the future uses, its utility may increase. The agriculture commodity like paddy, wheat, etc. are stored for the regular uses of the consumer throughout the year. So Indian economy is an mixed economy. So it is saying that, do you know that Indian economy is a mixed economy? So what is a mixed economy? Mixed economy where both the private player and the uh, public player, they coexist. Now there are the some countries, they favor the private only. For example, there are the methods of the laissez-faire. They means that the minimum intervention of the government in the production or in the economy. So that is a private economy. For example, the Britain economy or the US economy, they are more liberal economy. The other comes, they are the capitalist economies. The other is the public economies, public sector, where all the things, they are in the hands of the government, from house, from the transport, everything is provided by the government. So that means it is a uh, public sector. For example, we can say the China, and India is a mixture of the both. We have a public sector, we have a private sector, and they are coexisting. Now, types of the production. So in the above story, we have heard that there are the three types of the production, and there is fourth one also if we classify that. And the fourth one is the your quaternary or the quaternary sector, not the production. It is a sector. More briefly, if I talk about that, it is a sector. Now there are three types of production. Now primary production, the secondary production, and then comes is the tertiary or the service production. Now first comes is the primary production. Now primary production is carried out by the extractive industries. These are your the from where extractive means you are extracting something like agriculture. So you are extracting the food material or the other materials. Now forestry, fishing, mining, oil extraction. Now these industries are engaged in such activities as extracting the gifts of the nature. So how to remember? The keyword for this is your extraction becomes your keyword. Now in activities such as extracting the gifts of the nature from the earth's surface, from beneath the earth's surface, and from the oceans. Next comes is your the agriculture, sorry, the secondary production. Now this include the production in the manufacturing industry. So what does it include? It include the manufacturing industry. Now turning out the semi-finished and the finished goods from the raw material and intermediate goods, and the conversion of the flour into the bread or the iron ore into the finished steel. Now they are generally described as the manufacturing and the construction industries. So we call them as they are manufacturing. For example, the example at the starting of the chapter they gave, that the sugar, from the sugar cane we are extracting the sugar. So that is done by the manufacturing sector. So here I want to tell you that our Prime Minister, he has said several times that the India, it lacks the manufacturing sector. Now in India, most probably there are the only two sectors. Now these two sectors are your primary and the tertiary. But we do not have the manufacture sectors, and most of the jobs are related to your the manufacturing sector, and the ease of the business and the other data, the government is focusing on the establishment of manufacturing sector, so that more and the more employment can be generated. If more and the more employment is generated, the society will prosper, and the crime will, it will come, it will decrease in this society. Now they are described as generally as the manufacturing and the construction industries. Now such as the manufacturing of the car, furnishing and the clothing and the chemical, as also the engineering and the building. So the beautiful pictures they have shown you, engineering and the building, cotton industry. Now the industrialization in India, it started late. The focus of the colonizers or the colony, that is the Britishers, it was not on the implementing the industrial revolution in the India. but you will find in the history books that it started like the Tata, they started, and the other people they were which started the industrial, but it was not a large scale. And we will see that at the after the independence also, most of the our sector it was engaging, or the most of the population, about 60 to 65 population, it was engaging in the agriculture. Then our the first plans they focused more on the irrigation, constructing on the dam. So industrial revolution at that time it also was not implemented. At the later stage it came. Now primary sector, and example is the primary sector and the your the secondary sector. The cotton is primary sector. Now cotton industry is a secondary sector. And what is produced here? Cotton products, cloth is produced. Now iron ore is primary sector. Iron industry is your the secondary sector. And the material production is equal to the material production. Then comes is the wheat flour. It is the primary sector. And when you make the bread out of the wheat flour, that becomes your secondary, because you have processed that food. So now we were doing the current news, the recent current news. Now it was focusing that the US is more focusing on these the your bread or the dairy products. They wanted to export to the India, and we have became US has become the number one, in which India has a trade surplus, and we have left the China behind. Means in the terms of the earlier we have the more trade with the China. Now we have more trade with the US. Now next is the tertiary production. Now industries in the tertiary sector, they produce all those services which enable the finished goods to be put in the hands of the consumer. Now, in fact, these services are supplied to the firms in all the types of the industry and directly to the consumers. The examples, it will clear your concept more clearly. The examples are cover the distributive traders. Now, who are distributing? So, your the retail markets. Now, the your big bazaar, the Reliance retail market, the Reliance Smart, and the other market. These are your the tertiary, they are providing you some type of the services. Now banking, insurance, the transport and the communication, government services such as the law, administration, education, health and the defense are also included. Now defense, you have they have shown the picture of the defense, banking and the education. Now I am educating you, that means I am providing you a service, and that comes under the tertiary. So initially in our country we had the primary sector, that is the agriculture was mostly, or the fisheries and the other allied sectors, they were there more. And apart from that you were having the tertiary sector. The more of the people now also you will find in the urban area, more people are engaged in the tertiary activities like banking, the defense or the education. They prefer that only. Now, do you know that the most of the gross domestic product of our country is the contributed by the tertiary sector only? Now, next comes as the factor of the production. What are the factors of production? Now, human activity can be broken down into the two components. One is the producing and the other is consuming. And when there is a production, a process of the transformation takes place. Now when you are producing something, you transform a thing. So a transformation it takes place. Now inputs are converted into the outputs, means the wheat flour it is converted into the bread, and ultimately bread is consumed, and the wheat would be the less price, and when you convert it into the bread it will fetch you more price. The inputs are classified and the referred to as the land, labor and the capital. Remember these. So what are your inputs? So these are the basic things you must remember. What are your inputs? Inputs are land, labor and the capital. Now collectively the inputs are called as the factor of production. So what do we call them? We call them as the factor of production. When the factor of the production are combined in order to produce something, means you have a land on land, you have this someone who is doing the labor and the capital that you require to build that the production. So when you combine these factor in order to produce something, a fourth factor is required. And goods and the services do not require themselves but need some concise thought process in order to plan and the implement the manufacture. So in order to manufacture thing, so some person have thought of the making the bread, so it should be an idea of the some person of the making the bread out of the debt. Now you can make from the bread, the you can make the bread pakoda also. So or you can use in many ways. Now this thought process is often called as the entrepreneurship. So your the fourth pillar here, the fourth production pillar is the entrepreneurship, means the idea and the organization, or you can call it as the organization or the entrepreneurship. So land, labor, and then comes is the land, labor, capital, and the entrepreneurship. These include your the factors of the production. Now factor of the production are number one the primitive factor, and the other one is the derived factor. Sorry, primary factor and the derived factor. Now primary factor, which are your primary factor? Land and labor, you have the primary factor. You require the land and you require the, so you should be establishing a factory for the production of the bread. So for that you require a land, on that you require the person, that is the labor is required. Now these are the naturally given, and without them no good can be produced. So you cannot produce without that. Now derived factors are the capital and the an organization. Now organization which would be having an idea, or you can call it as the entrepreneurship. Now these derived factors when combined with the primary factor, the production raise the total population. Now factors of the production: land, labor, capital, and the organization. Now we will be discussing them in the detail. First comes is the land. Now land as a factor production, it refers to all those natural resources or the gift of the nature which are provided free to the men. So what is the keyword here? Keyword is here the free to men. Natural resources, gift which nature has provided free to men. Free is the key word. It include within itself several things, such as it can be land surface, air, water, mineral, forest, river, lake, sea, mountain, climate, and weather. Thus land include all things that are not made by the men. So if we talk about what include the land, so land include your the that includes the all the things that are not made by the men. Now land can take on various forms. Now what are these various forms of the land? Now from agriculture land to the commercial real estate to the resources available from a particular piece of the land. So you have the beautiful diagrams given of the sea, the diagram of the land. Now what are the characteristics of the land? Land is a free gift of the nature. Man has to make the efforts in order to acquire other factors of the production. But in order to acquire the land, no human efforts are required or the needed. Land is not the outcome of the human labor. Rather, it existed even long before the evolution of the men. So man has evolved later. Land was initially there. Now second comes as the land is a fixed in the supply. The total quantity of the land does not undergo any change. It is limited and cannot be increased or decreased with the human efforts. Now no alteration can be made in the surface area or the of the land. The next comes as the land is imperishable. Now all man-made things are perishable. and these may even go out of the existence. So there are the things which can go out of the existence, but the land is indestructible. Now thus it cannot go out of the existence, it is non-destructible. Now land is the primary factor of the production. In any kind of the production process, we have to start with the land. For example, in industries, it helps to provide the raw material, and in the agriculture, crops are produced on the land. Now land is immovable. It cannot be transported from one place to another. For instance, no portion of the India's surface can be transported to the some other country. Now land has some original indestructible power. There are the some original and indestructible power of the land which a man cannot destroy. Now its fertility may be varied, but it cannot be destroyed completely. You cannot destroy the land. Land differs in the fertility, means that the fertility of the land differs on the different pieces of the land. One piece of the land may produce more and the other can produce less. It matters. Now, as a gift of the nature, the initial supply price of the land is zero. However, when used in the production, it became the scarce. Therefore, it fetches a price accordingly. So the human beings are so many, and for their greed and the need, their land it becomes scarce. So that's why you have a price of your land. The next factor of the production is the labor. Labor is the human input into the production process. So Alfred Marshall, he defines the labor as the use of the body or the mind partially or the wholly with a view to secure an income apart from the pleasure that is derived from the work. So you have your pleasure. For example, for the pleasure you are doing the artwork, and when you sell that artwork, then it is giving you some type of the money. Then it becomes a factor of the production. Now Adam Smith is known as the father of the economics, and his economics is wealth economics. Now he wrote two classics. Now this is very important. This is the basic thing you must know about the economics. If someone asks you who is the father of the economics, you should tell him that Adam Smith, and he wrote the two classic works, that is the theory of the moral sentiments in 1759, and an inquiry into the nature of the causes of the wealth and the nation, 1776. Now when we study about the political science, there also we study the Adam Smith. So machinery, you have the diagrams given of the machinery, physical work, and the mind work. Now what are the characteristics of the labor? Now labor is more perishable than other factors of the production. So here what comes the word, it comes is the perishable. Now it means the labor cannot be stored. You cannot store a labor. The labor of an unemployed worker is lost forever for the day when he does not work. Labor can neither be postponed nor accumulated for the next day. It will perish. Once time is lost, it is lost forever. Do switch off your mics. Mute, mute कर दो mic को. Now, labor is an active factor of the production. What is the labor? Labor, it is an active factor of the production. Neither land nor capital can yield much labor without the labor. Now, labor is not homogeneous. Skill and the dexterity vary from the person to person. Now a person can produce more, the other person can produce less. Labor cannot be separated from the laborer. You cannot take, no one can take my labor. Now labor is mobile. Labor is mobile. And man moves from one place to another, from a low paid occupation to a high paid occupation. Now, individual labor has only limited bargaining power. He cannot fight with his employer for a rise in the wages or improvement in the workplace condition. However, when workers combine to form trade unions, the bargaining power of the labor it increases. Next comes is the division of the labor. You have heard the concept of the division of the labor. Now, the concept of the division of the labor was introduced by the Adam Smith in his book an inquiry into the nature and the causes of the wealth of the nation. The division of the labor, it means dividing the process of the production into the distinct and the several component processes and assigning each component in the hands of the labor or a set of the laborers who are specialists in that particular process. Now, what does this mean? This means that division of labor means dividing the process of the production. For example, if we are producing something, so we will assign the work to the various people. Then you will have a specialty in making that product. So, for example, if there is a shirt has to be made, so you would be assigning the work. For example, a person would be cutting the cloth, the other person he would be stitching the cloth, the other person it would be stitching the buttons, or the other person he would be ironing the ironing the shirt. So that makes the specialization, and every person became a specialized worker. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that you are talking about the manufacturing sector. Yeah, not the manufacturing, sorry, you are talking about the tertiary sector. I gave the example of the manufacturing sector. Yeah, but the thing is that manufacturing sector have the different, the thing is same, but the things will become the person, the specialization will become the different. Yeah. Now they have also given the example. Example, a tailor, the same they have given. A tailor stitches a shirt in the full. In the case of the garment exporters, cutting of the clothes, stitching of the hands, body, collars, holes, but for buttons, stitching of the buttons, etc. are done independently by the different workers. Therefore, they are combining the parts into a whole shirt. Now, if a person he himself stitch a shirt, he would be having more efforts. For example, if I teach you only one subject, for example, I am a specialized in the polity. So, if I teach you polity, I would teach polity in more higher manner than if I am teaching you everything. If you have the other teachers who are the specialist, so you have the some person who have done the masters in the geography, masters in the economics, so it makes the specialization of the work, and the more refined work will come out. Now they have given the activity, we are not concerned with the activity. Let's come to the merit of a labor. Now it improve the labor improve efficiency of the labor when labor repeats doing the same task. It facilitates the use of the machinery in the production, resulting in the inventions. Example, more telegraphic codes. Time and the material are put to the best and more efficient use. Now, demerits of the division of the labor. What are the demerits? So, demerits are the repetition of the same task makes labor to feel that the work is monotonous and the stale. The same thing I told na. If a person has to do all the works, he feels like a burden. And if he has to do only one type of the work, he became a special specializer of that work. Now, narrow specialization reducing the possibility of the labor to find the alternative avenues of the employment, and this is also a demerit. Now, if a person only knows the stitching of the button, so if the machines come and that stitches the button, so he will become the unemployed. So that is also the scenario. So a person has to be all rounder. If the stitching of the button has been taken, so he should be able to stitch the whole shirt. Now reduce the growth of the handicraft, and the worker loses the satisfaction of the having made a commodity in the full. The third factor, that is the capital. Now capital is the man-made physical good and used to produce the other goods and the services. So remember, to in order to produce other goods and the services, the capital is used. Capital, what it is? It is man-made and it is a physical good. So there are two things. One is man-made and the other is the physical good. Now in the ordinary language, capital means money. So simple language, if we talk about that, or the etymology of the capital, it would be the money. Now, in economics, capital refer to the part of the man-made wealth, now which is used for the further production of the wealth. Now, you are doing a job and you are earning some salary. If you invest that salary in turn producing something, producing the wealth, that means it is a capital. All wealth is not capital, but all capital is a wealth. Very important statement for the exam point of view. All wealth is not capital, but all capital is wealth. Such type of the things are asked in the your CSET also, the Silog chapter that deals with such things. Now all wealth is not capital, सारी पूंजी आपकी capital नहीं होती है और सभी capital वो wealth होती हैं. Now according to the Marshall, capital consists of those kinds of the wealth other than the free gifts of the nature which yield the income. So which give you some type of the income are called as the wealth. Sorry, the capital. Now what are the forms of the capital? The physical capital or the material resource. Example, the machinery, tool, or the building, etc. Money capital or the monetary resources. In this it comes the bank deposit, shares, and the securities. And the third one is the human capital or the human resources. Now here comes the investment in the education, training, and the health. So this is the third type of the capital. So what are the features of the capital? Capital is passive factor. Capital is man-made. Capital is not an indispensable factor of the production. Capital has the highest mobility. Capital is productive. Now capital lasts over time. Capital involves present sacrifice to get the future. You are sacrificing your savings in order to get something in the future. And the fourth type of thing, that is the idea or the organization or the entrepreneur. Now an entrepreneur is a person who combines the different factors of the production. What are these factors which are combined? These are the land, labor, and the capital in the right production, and the initiates the process of the production and also bears the risk involved in it. Now how you would be able to understand this, who is an entrepreneur? So from the entrepreneur word, I remember a movie of the Rajkumar Rao. It came recently, it was released. So it was filmed in the China, it was based on the China. So he went to the China and he went to there to have some product he want to get from there, and he used to manufacture here in the India and sell with the Indian tag or his own company tag. So that is a entrepreneur. Entrepreneur gives his idea. So entrepreneur is an innovator, or we can say a person who start the things. And entrepreneur is also called as an organizer. Now in modern times, an entrepreneur is called the changing agent of the society, or we can say a person who does a startup is also an entrepreneur. He is not only responsible for producing the socially desirable output but also the increase the social welfare. Now characteristics of the entrepreneur: identify the profitable investable opportunity. Now first thing, that a person who is aspiring to become an entrepreneur, what he has to do, he has to see that from which business he will get the maximum profit. So ultimately the private individual, their objective is maximizing their profit. So they should think the thing in which they get the profit maximum. Deciding the location of the production unit, making the innovation. Production unit means where the production can be cheap. So where can you establish a factory? So a sugar making factory, a sugar mill cannot be established in a rural area, sorry, in an urban area like Delhi. So you would be establishing a sugar factory in the fields near the sugar cane where the sugar is produced. The mills, the mill should be established there only, where the agriculture, that where the peasant, the farmer can sell their sugar cane to you, and you want to make the maximum profit, so it should incur the less transportation, so less labor cost should be less there. Next comes is making innovation, deciding the reward payment, taking risk, and the facing the uncertainties. Now let's wrap up. Now production is a process of combining various material inputs and the immaterial input in order to, yeah, making, okay, yeah, making something of the consumption. Yeah. So this was all in this chapter. So let's move to the next, that is the seventh class, the part second.